There we go. Uh-oh. Look at that.
What?
That's not good. Here.
This time in Camera Stadium, my friend Joe bought a 35mm 2.8 Pentax-M with sticky aperture blades on eBay.
Got this lens.
We weren't planning on fixing it, but, well, this will never do. In this video, I'm just going to do the repair. I'm not going to do a full service on this. The lens groups were immaculate, and there was nothing I could add to them but dirt. Also, the focusing was perfect on this guy, so I didn't see the need to take apart the helical and struggle with it for 5 or 6 hours trying to figure out the clocking after I inevitably mismark said clocking. Anyway, let's take off this aperture ring. Take out all them screws. Basically, the aperture blades and the aperture actuating ring lever and aperture control, setting control cams right under here. Those were all just covered in a thin film of grease or what might have been lubrication once, or maybe even some helical lubrication that's worked its way in through heat and years of sitting. You take off the beauty ring and the front element front group of elements. You know what I'm talking about, that thing, man. Beautiful condition on eBay, aside from the aperture closed down way too slow to actually stop down during your exposure. Ooh, here I'm taking out, tightening my tool and oh, look at that scratch. I don't know if Joe Van Cleve is ever gonna forgive me for marring his lens like that. Really not cool. Thankfully, for the rest of this, I did a pretty nice job. That's unfortunate cosmetic mishap. Nothing needed replacing, though. This little lever has a pin that sticks through to the back of the lens, and that's what actuates the aperture control ring. This is the race. Oh, we'll get back to that when we clean it. I just took off the race for the aperture control ring and lever, and now I'm melting off some of that setting lacquer before I get in there with my screwdriver, trying to bust it up. Just trying to be nice and slow and steady. Pull out that aperture control lever. All of these things were kind of just covered in a film of grease. These blades, I couldn't see for the life of me any of the dirt. Maybe we can see it on camera, but they did not move clean and smooth. Like maybe a 1 atom bit of grease in here, but also maybe a good bit of grease in here. Look at my Q-tip. It's getting full of gunk, bro. Look at that. Yum. I mean, it's a tiny bit of dirt, but just that little tiny spring was the whole thing powering that whole mechanism, and it's got to stop down fully before your shutter starts going while the mirror's moving. Here's some blades I took out. You got to be real careful with these. Gentle. They're like little pieces of blackened foil with those studs on them. You can't bend them, they won't work. You know, they need to be snappy with a minimum of force. I debated how much of this cleaning to leave in. I know everybody wants to see the screwing and unscrewing, or nobody wants to see it, but I thought I'd give you some of the flavor of this tedium of wiping them blades with lighter fluid and alcohol, Q-tips. This is the Aperture blade actuating ring. I'm going to clean that with lighter fluid and then alcohol. Sometimes I get, ooh, look at how dirty those Q-tips are getting. This is going to be insufficient. Here it comes. Wipe that bad boy. Make it nice and clean. It's going to rub up against the Aperture blades and even those little slots for the Aperture blade pins. I want to get this so clean because I don't want to put any lube in there. I think some people might use graphite, but I would be so sad if any of that graphite migrated into Joe's optical elements and then he was like, hey man, this lens is dusty, and I'd be like, oh. Anyway, I'm going for so clean that just there's no friction. Dry is how it's gotten assembled. In other lenses, sometimes I assemble the aperture assembly out of the lens. In this one, I saw no need to remove the rear group of elements. It was very clean, and I could clean around it on the base plate of the aperture pivots. Then it's kind of a matter of getting all of those little blades in there nice and easy. Usually the last blade, the one that's got to get overlapped on itself under the first one, kind of like when you close up a box with no tape and every flap is both over and under its adjacent flaps. Oh, here I'm trying to turn one of these things upside down with my forceps. You need the bent ones. They're a little tougher to maneuver, but necessary to maneuver inside the barrel of this lens. Anyway, you've got to orient these so every one is both under the blade before and over the blade after. And you might look at this and say, hey man, that ain't right. But actually, these Pentax lenses are really quite nice to work on, really. There's not too many blades, and they can be pushed in and out of mesh. Here's like the hold your mouth just right. Don't breathe. Don't drop this thing and upset the work you just did for 10 minutes. Ooh, that's a good feeling when it pops in the moment of truth. Oh yeah, that's a smooth aperture. I still don't want to wiggle it around too much because there's no bearing race for this ring, nor setting lever, or most importantly, the retaining ring that holds it all from jumping out on you. Here go that control arm and pin. Put in them screws. Boop.
As it could be.
Okay, what are we doing here? Oh, we're cleaning the bearing race that I've scratched the top of with the tool to remove the retaining ring that sits on top of it. Which, you know, to be honest, I don't know how that's avoidable unless you had a very specific tool for this lens, which maybe one day I will make one. Checking that the race is nice and smooth and everything can move around with no friction, no binding. Just should be able to flick it in any one direction, just really light. Again, this thing's all going to be powered by this tiny little spring. I like these rubber cups. They help me manipulate a lot of circles, inside circles, levels of concentricities. In goes the front element group. Checking to make sure that pin works. Here's a double cam system that controls how much the aperture is opened or closed. It links to the aperture ring, and it's got these two little shoulder pivot bolts, and they had a microscopic layer of...
These are like little cat paws, and they're just scratching at things like...
They have a microscopic layer of oil and grease, and you really just got to get at them. I'm gonna speed through most of the cleaning here, but again, I just wanted to leave it in, so you might think of how relaxing it could be to clean the inside of your camera. This cam is spring-loaded, not too tricky to get in. It's got a little stud on the back of the cam that grabs the hook. I'm going to put it halfway in after cleaning and drying it, and then work a little sewing machine oil in there. Just the lightest little bit. And tighten it down and make sure that it moves freely. And it does not. So we're going to do the next pivot. But I knew we were going to do the next pivot. I already edited this video all weekend. I'm just doing the voiceover now. Yep. Clean off that grease.
I should just
clean them axles. Clean those cams, baby. And put it back together. All right. Let's see how it does now. Oh yeah, that's how it's supposed to move.
Look at that. Boop, 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 boop.
I was pleased in real time.
Don't you
Work in some oil. Now it's time for the aperture ring, but first the aperture control cam system control cam linkage guy. You know, that connects from the ring to those limiting cams. They set the aperture. That arm with the pin, the silver one way down deep, that controls the firing of the aperture during the exposure cycle. That pin, that's actually controlling the blades, and it's limited by the cams on the other side. I'm going to get the return spring. This powers the whole motion faster than your shutter can, or your mirror can flip up. I hate putting on these little springs, but I did a nice job here. Good job, Ethan. Yay! Alright, I'm going to flip this into place. Got to make sure you got your spring on in the right orientation. Make sure your little ring control fork is on the pin. Put in your aperture detent ball. Don't lose that. That's a nice click. Oh! And I dropped the fork off the pin, but we'll get it back in. There we go. Now the lens mount. This was a pretty easy repair, I think. Not all that... Oh, here we go.
Gotta clean that one.
Not all that exciting in terms of mechanisms or things we had to do, but a nice few hours spent in the dark in Camera Stadium taking my friend Joe's lens apart. It looks really nice. I've never used one like this, quite like this. I have a 28. I love it. That one also needs a service. I might do it next, but this one should be good for, I don't know, maybe another 15, 20 years.
You'll buy this Pentax on cameradactyl.com.
Well, thanks for coming along for the ride, and I'll see you next time in Camera Stadium.